So it seems that Spotify is mad at Joe Rogan again. Why are they mad at Joe Rogan? Well, let's give you the backstory on how this all unfolded. Joe Rogan had a exclusive Spotify deal that was worth around $100 million. But what's been happening now is that Spotify is outraged by Joe Rogan's show. So basically, well, there's a problem here with Spotify and Joe Rogan. Now, if you consider Joe Rogan, he's one of the biggest podcast hosts on YouTube, one of the most successful and biggest podcast hosts on the internet, period. Definitely makes the most money, not the most, but maybe one of the most, one of the biggest for sure. He has a lot of polarizing employees on his channel and on his platform, and he has a lot of very controversial people on there too. Let's be honest. I mean, he has Alex Jones. Alex Jones is pretty controversial. He has a lot of controversial people on his channel. So let's get into the article. Joe Rogan, the notoriously polarizing host of the Joe Rogan Experience, America's most popular podcast in 2020. Like I said, it's very, very popular. Employee complaints have fallen deaf ears of company executives. I mean, they probably would because you're paying the man $100 million to exclusively stream on their platform. So there's going to be some type of leeway. But I don't know what the contract stipulates, and I don't know what Joe Rogan is allowed to say on his own platform. I think free speech it doesn't stretch out to a private company which has its own rules and rule sets. Like if you're on Twitter, you don't have the free speech to say whatever you want. I'm personally bothered by his transphobic comments, and I'm concerned with the way he might spread misinformation. One Spotify employee wrote last fall on an internal networking channel on the app Fishbowl. So there's some kind of, there's a plot brewing. There's a bit of a plot brewing here. Bro. A former employee told the publication that during his time at Spotify, the decision to sign deal with Joe Rogan was the most contentious one the company made. Well, think about it like this. In business, you always think about what can you gain from the deal and what can the other party gain from the deal. So you got to look at both sides. What does Spotify gain from having Joe Rogan on their platform? They gain one of the biggest podcasts on YouTube, one of the most popular podcasts of America in 2020 on their platform. So they're going to gain a lot of eyeballs on their platform. It's a very positive, but the backfall, like the disadvantage of having Joe Rogan on there is he's gonna say whatever he wants. He's not gonna listen to the company policy, and he's not gonna be told what to say on his podcast. That's what made his podcast so great, though. Like you can't just make him follow rules and regulations of your platform when he got so successful by doing it his own way. It's only a loud minority of people who are outraged at Rogan. That's true. I mean, he does spread a lot of misinformation. He spreads a lot of misinformation. He isn't particularly intelligent. He puts intelligent people on his platform, but sometimes they spread misinformation as well. Look. Recently, Joe Rogan, he said that young people shouldn't take the vaccine. Do you know how? Do you know how fucking bad? Do you know how fucking bad that can be for a country that is having a coronavirus outbreak like America? And you're telling young people not to take a vaccine. Just think about all the people that would possibly die from that advice. That is crippling. That is devastating. That type of misinformation can be crippling to a country, dude. I understand why Spotify are outraged. With only a subgroup of staff that may be upset, the numbers were sufficient to merit a town hall meeting. Holy crap. That they felt Rogan was at times anti transgender. Well, I'm not even going to comment on anti transgender or transgender. I think people should do whatever they feel is necessary. I'm not even going to comment on that. I don't want any parts of that. No parts of that shit. Don't want any parts of that at all. I'm not going to talk about it. The Joe Rogan Experience to receive editorial supervision was denied by the company, and Rogan subsequently retweeted a video mocking the employees for being oversensitive. That's kind of crazy, you know. Well, think about it like this: the podcasts of Joe Rogan on YouTube, he doesn't release full podcasts on his YouTube channel anymore. He only releases small snippets and clips of the podcast to entice people to watch the whole thing on Spotify. That's how he does it, dude. He doesn't put his whole podcast on his YouTube channel. He puts the podcast on Spotify. So Spotify is actually gaining a lot more than they're losing here. I'm not sure why they are so amped up and angry. I get it. He's not following your policy, but he's polarizing, man. He doesn't follow anybody's script. A total of 10 meetings were held with various groups and individuals to hear their respective concerns, and some of them want Rogan removed because of things he said in the past. Definitely having Alex Jones on there is very controversial. In addition to company staffers, Rogan infuriated fellow Spotify podcast stars, including Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, after telling 21-year-olds not to get the COVID vaccine, a claim on which he subsequently backpedaled. He had to backpedal. He got a phone call from the higher ups, and they told him to do that, to make a video backpedaling, or he would lose his Spotify deal. So he definitely did it. You know, he has to toe the line in some places. He can't just do whatever he wants. He's not completely free. Just like none of us are completely free in life. Spotify did not immediately return the post's request for comment. Man, that's crazy. They're censoring Joe Rogan. Just think about what kind of implications that's gonna have as a backdrop effect, on other content creators.